Hello, WikiTree. Good
Bonjour,
morning,
ça va?
afternoon, evening.
That's Hilary. That's Hilary Gadsby.
I
Yes.
would have. Nobody would have ever guessed because. So we have Hilary here, and we have also this strange person next to me. So I'm not sure about her.
I get no respect. I'm the Roger Dangerfield of life.
We have a lot of chatter in the comments I've seen. So we have Geoff Riley, hello, and Carol, Mindy, Pamela Cormac Smith, and then we have, of course, Tommy Buck from the Bayou State. Like, just not a normal live stream without it.
No,
We have Chris. Geoff said we had the sun until about a quarter of an hour ago.
And it's decidedly overcast now.
Mm-hmm. We have Bob Dole. Good day. We have Alesh.
Hey, Alesh.
And we have Greg Clark over on Facebook. Everybody else has been on.
Hey, Greg.
And yeah, anybody else here? Say hi, or tell us. And I can't speak this morning, obviously, so I'm gonna try. Just to forewarn everybody, I am tired, so I'm just gonna lay that out there. So
yeah, she worked overnight again.
Yeah. What else is new?
Hello, Maureen Fern, you newbie from London, England. We love you. We love having newbies in the live cast on Saturday morning. We really do.
And we have Jimmy, Lisa Robinson. They seem new as well. And we have Edie. I remember Edie. I said it right.
So is Jimmy, Lisa Robinson a couple? So is this Jimmy
or
Lisa?
Like it might be that way, but I'm not sure.
Jimmy or Lisa, or did somebody's parents have a funny idea of naming?
Well, we also have Janine. I feel like Janine's been here before, but I don't know. Maybe not.
Iselman Goodson. I don't remember that name, but yeah, I do. She's been here. And if you're wondering what we're doing, if you're new, we always wait for the lag. There's a lag of comments to real-time conversation. So we spend a lot of time saying good morning to people, and that way it lets everybody catch up and we don't get into the meat of the conversation or the live cast until after we kind of let everybody get into the room and get caught up. There you go. How's it in life? Are you both watching, or is this Jimmy or Lisa? This is going to be the question of the day.
Yeah. Not the question of the week, though. We have a different
one. No. Would you like me to talk about the question of the week?
We can.
Do you think?
We can. But we also have Stephen here as well.
Hey, Stephen.
So yeah, we can definitely talk about the question of the week. And I also wanted to ask a question about the question of the week once you ask the question of the week.
Okay. Any ancestors that were in a travel-related industry?
So when I was looking at this question, I was like, what constitutes as a travel-related industry? Because I was like, my grandma was in the Air Force, like as a secretary. I was like, does that count? Is that like a travel?
I noticed a lot of people who were in the Navy who were saying that their family was in the travel industry because they were in the Navy. And I can agree with that in some senses. And I'll answer that with my answer. I actually answered the question of the week. Coming down here, this is my grandfather, Clee Hunt, and he was a troop transport commander during World War II, which meant he was a merchant marine, but he was also in the United States Army. He achieved the rank of lieutenant colonel. But while he was commanding this troop transport, that was his job. He picked up people in San Francisco and delivered them everywhere around the Pacific where they needed to be dropped off. So he was involved in the Battle of Attu in the Pacific, or in the Northern Pacific. I'll show you. I created a page about the USAT Parida, which is one of the ships that he commanded. And here is, I don't know if this is the Parida crew or the Sea Barb crew, but that's the captain of the ship. But my grandfather was a part of this, and his job was to take care of the troops, to make sure the troops got on, they had stuff to do while they were on ship, and that they got off in a good place mentally and physically for their embarkation. You know, they literally put troops out into the beach to fight. The really interesting is, this is a picture of the Parida at Attu. And Attu, at this battle, the ship hit a pinnacle that was underwater and got a big gash in it. And they had to beach the ship, which you see here, and put concrete and mattresses in it enough to get it back to either Honolulu or San Francisco to fix it. But that's in Life magazine, that picture. Isn't that cool? Anyway, so that's my granddad. Isn't he cute?
Cool. My grandfather was actually in the Navy too, speaking of. So
yeah, well, for my grandfather, he was absolutely in the transportation business for the United States Army. Absolutely. Now, if a U.S. Navy ship is transporting goods and materials somewhere, then absolutely transportation. But if they're a fighting ship and they're not transporting anything but missiles and bombs, does that count? I see your point.
Yeah.
So we did have a lot of people who said that, who said that they were in the Navy. I'll go down real quick the Facebook post. I don't normally do that, but I should. For some reason, I have never been able to post pictures in G2G, and Sarah has actually tried to help me get it done, and I cannot post pictures in G2G. I have no idea why. So I've decided to post my granddad in the Facebook. So Lance Bermudez says the Bermudez brothers sailed with Columbus in 1492. I don't know if that's a joke or for real, but either way, that's cool. Vikings. The Vikings, they were absolutely transporting troops and mercenaries. So we're not sure about that. And this is funny. I read this as any relatives in the time travel industry. I was like, whoa, my ancestors are boring. That's from Michelle Burris. Laurie Kramer Seraphin says Thomas Clark first mate of the Mayflower. Simon Foster says, does being a stoker on an assisted passage qualify? I believe so. You're stoking that engine? Yes, ma'am.
So I just wanted to, there was a conversation going on in the comments.
Do it.
Geoff said his paternal granddad was a Clippy on the Bolton Corporation trams. And Edie was like, Geoff, what's a Clippy? And he says a Clippy sells tickets and keeps order on the tram. The term also crossed over to buses when they were introduced. Just wanted to so Clippy. Word of the day.
Mindy, we've looked at that, and that is not the issue. We can't figure out what it is, but thank you. A Clippy, that's funny, because they were clipping as they came on board. Let's see. Simon Foster. Okay. Dora Sherwood. Klimowit. Woo! Yes, my grandfather, Charles Stephen, had a hotel in Long Island City, New York. Uncle Judge Lewis wanted to get a railroad through West Virginia. Now, okay. I can't remember what he did. Okay. Joseph Taylor, my 9th great-grandfather, Dr. Thomas Wynn, was a ship's doctor on the Welcome when it brought William Penn to America. That's pretty cool. So they were actually working on it. Let's go on. See. And Liz Merck said, boy, she's finding great information here. That's great. Eileen Bird, a merchant captain. Anthony Keenaway, yes, but authorities called it escaping from prison. That's funny. My grandfather worked for the railroad. Prudence Patnode. People are putting names in to just try and get me to trip over the pronunciation. Andy Pryor, railroad for my grandfather, and possibly his grandfather too. That's interesting. Melanie Stewart, my Fisher-owned railroad station. That's cool. Did anybody ever see the movie The Station House or Station Master? It's a very good movie. The Station, I think. And it's about an old station house. Let's see. Grandfather, great grandfather transported moonshine. Michelle Friel. Woohoo! Greg Allner. Yeah, what's in your mug, Hilary?
What's tea?
Yeah,
it's finished now.
Oh, okay.
But it's got Ealing Tide Mill on it, and Ealing is a place where some of my ancestors lived.
Hilary had posted in our private chat about one of her ancestors. Well, he was a what, Hilary?
My grandfather was in the Merchant Marine. He worked on the Royal Mail steam packet ships that went between Southampton and South America.
Oh, cool.
And his brother and his son both worked on cruise ships. They worked on the Queen Elizabeth, the liner that went between the States and UK, and also did round the world cruises.
That's great. That's cool. That's cool. Sarah, do you have any transportation connections?
Well, just talking about my grandmother and grandfather. My mom worked as a
She's thinking about this.
I just blanked. She was like a travel person. Wow. Well, if you think about it, I work in a hotel now, so
okay.
Runs in your room.
Let's see. A couple of distant cousins worked for the Grace Line, transporting goods, and served as a passenger ship. Greg Allner, Summer B. Summersby. My great-great-grandfather was a railroad conductor and went all over the U.S. as railroads were built. That's a fun story. Bill Dillon, Navy. Again, we're trying to figure out if your Navy ship was transporting goods, people, or services, then that would be transportation. If your Navy ship was transporting bullets and guns and bombs, was it? We don't know. Cindy Shepard, my great-grandfather, Walter B. Noland, called EWB, was called a gentleman captain, one of 2 riverboats that he called in Arkansas and Mississippi, or Memphis. That's pretty cool. Alan Stone says yes. Many were on the run and made it to the U.S. That's the second one that's like that. I got to be careful how I hold my fingers up. And Stephen Hopkins was a sailor. I had several ancestors who were sea captains and went around the world. Yeah, my grandfather did 17 round trips of the Pacific. Okay, moving on to G to G. Woohoo! Greyhound bus driver for Nelda Spires. And a carpenter for the GMO Railroad. Charles Gray is talking about grandfather in the railroad industry, but doesn't know what he did. My great-grandfather, mine, worked for the railroad as well. I have no idea what he did. Tommy Buck.
Tommy!
Should I skip this one? Tommy Buck. His maternal grandfather, Charles Gray, worked in the railroad industry and doesn't remember what he did. I already talked about that, but I didn't say who it was, so it's Tommy Buck. Hey, Eileen. Great-grandfather was a coach driver, and his father Horst was a bus driver. That's kind of fun. That's from Thomas Dowding. Great-grandmother Pearl Lovelace's first husband, Dow M. Bray, was a fireman on the Missouri, Oklahoma, and Gulf passenger train, and he was killed in a train when the train collided with another train. See, Dorothy O'Hare, that says that her second great uncle John Truslow Was a railroadman in Knoxville, Tennessee, and he was an agent for the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe in Chattanooga.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, that's a famous line, though. So there's more about that from Dorothy O'Hare. Richard Hill says that his mother's father, Brian Sharpless, spent most of his career working with the Canadian Pacific Railroad in Toronto. Yay. And also worked for the Royal Air Force during World War II in Ottawa. Now, he may have worked at our Rockland Air Force Base here, where he worked on the transportation for those planes. So that would qualify as working in transportation as well. Uncle Martin Anthonson from K Knight opened his airport in 1936. He flew and repaired small planes and had a few stored at his field. That's it. That's cool to have somebody that had their own airport. Here's a great picture. This is a beautiful picture. If it looks like a tintype copy, which is incredible. It's got a piece of tape on it. So this could probably
with a horse.
Yeah, there's a horsey bunny. Yes, Sarah. More than 100 trains a day used to go through Chatham, New York. My grandfather, Dick Smith, drove passengers between the train station and hotels. And this is a picture of the old station. Isn't that cool? And that's what the station houses looked like. They're really beautiful little houses. And did I mention that was from Joyce Vander Bogart?
Oh.
So Louise Simmons talking about hotel in Missouri. Joyce Vander Bogart, again, ships taking mail to South America, and his younger brother and one of his sons worked on both cruise liners. So maybe you should make a connection with Joyce Vander Bogart, Hilary, and see if it was the same one. Ooh, connecting. Wait. Okay. Rufus M. Galloway, Pip Shepherd, started the logging business here in the mountains when he was young, worked his way up to the point where he made business trips to South America. His profile has his passport photo. The passport application states that the trip was for the following purposes: Dutch, Guyana, British Guyana, Cuba, and sawmill work. I intend to leave from the port of New York, sailing on board the Mayaro on August 28, 1919. That's a scary time to be, or no, that was a good time to be going, yeah. Then a brother of my great-grandfather, Hans Friedrich Lorentzen, immigrated to the U.S. in 1882, where he worked for a railroad as a construction worker, but he got run over by a train. And I'll save you my reading of this old German script. But
I really wanted to hear you read the German.
Really? Gefunden wurde der 40-jährige von Heid an der vor 48. Do you want me to continue?
No.
My and that was from Dieter Lawrence. My grandfather was a pilot, and my wife. I'm a retired pilot. My wife is a former flight attendant, Steve Britton. Yay!
Did you meet like that?
Yeah, yeah. Was that like a job date? Great picture here of Samuel Bailey, who was a brakeman and later conductor for the Passumpsic PR in Vermont. Again, okay. And then a great-grandfather, Napoleon Descateux, worked for the railroad. That's a great picture. And it looks like another type. And here's another great picture from Brian Lamont. Isn't that cute? But that's a soldier. But yeah. Still worked somewhere. Whoop. Chancey Wilbur Mann. Moonshine again. Got another picture down here of a carriage, Edwin Richardson's Sons by M. Ross, and that's first cousin, fourth removed. And let's see. The Anonymous Schmidt said, this question feels like it has my name written on it. One of the few famous people I know that I'm descended from is Francis Drake, the first captain to circumnavigate the world. How about that? Let's see. Grandpa Wilbur Silas was a driver. Was a safe driver for 3 years in a row. Crazy, Deborah Mays. I wouldn't want to drive a safe around. Imagine all the stagecoach robberies we had. My great-great-grandfather, George K. Handy, was a conductor. That from C. Handy. Thelma Majorano. I am Thelma Ann Knight Mariano. I was a travel agent and tour guide for 19 years. This is a really fun one.
That was the word travel agent. That's what my mom was in the Bahamas.
In the Bahamas.
Yeah, she did that. Yeah, there you go.
Also, she did floral design lectures on many cruise ships for Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Celebrity, Princess Cruise Lines. As a floral designer, also for 19 years, as a regular passenger, she did 45-minute lecture on various tools of the trade of a florist, prep and care of flowers, plants, all this stuff for 45 minutes, yet she was on vacation the whole time. So I guess they paid for her cruise. That's pretty cool, Thelma. Thank you for your Ann Knight. That's fun. Herman Coops, my father was in the travel industry after he arrived from Canada, from the Netherlands. Because people were asking for passport help. He claims that it was the first travel agency in Canada. That's interesting. And that was in the 1950s. My ancestor covered a wide spectrum of travel-related industry. Scott Gendrum, paddle wheelers. That's an old one. Let's see. Francis Walton, hotel managers. From Charlotte Landis. All right, cool. So that's the question of the week.
Thanks.
Yay.
So the question of the week also brought me, like, I know what a lot of my ancestors did, but I realized I really didn't know with certainty. So I was like, I should be going through and like checking the censuses and really observing like what was written down for every census record for what their occupation was. I have a lot of farmers in my family. But yeah, that also made me like, oh, maybe that's something I should actively be, checking each census and, checking those
and see what their occupations were. Yeah.
Also those kind of like the yellow pages. My mind is blank, but some Ancestry and Family Search have those pages where it has like what the business that they did was and like where and what location. That's also a good place to find.
Hilary posted while we were talking, while I was yaw-yakking, that she also has a connection to the captain of the Olympic Star, the sister ship of the Titanic.
Titanic, really?
Titanic.
I know.
Okay. Oh, and Stephen T.
City directories. Thank you.
City directories. Yeah. Hey, Paulette.
We also had a question from Carol asking what my cat's name was. Her name is Kiki.
And I just call her Boa.
Yeah, because her tail just kind of like she just kind of wraps around me.
I was going to say while I was talking, because I noticed that Kiki was very jealous of you talking to other people, and that she had to come and sit in your lap. I was going to say you were a wild cat tamer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to see if there were any other comments while you were talking. Pamela says she has photos of a letter that my grandfather sent his mother in 1956 when he was a sailor. I think that was it. Oh, did I do that? Or you did that, Mags. My cat accidentally clicked showing one earlier. Because she's just like laying, she's across.
Hilary does have a blog. It's quite a good blog. If you are interested in watching it, Hilary, can you tell us what the address is for that?
Let's have a look. Yeah, my blog is Gadsby Family Ancestors at blogspot.com.
There you go. And I believe Sarah and Kiki are getting ready to post that on a banner.
Yeah, that's the
Hopefully, I
that's
didn't.
the family one. I have another one called The Edge
Did I
of Snowdonia.
mess up any typos? I don't know.
No, that looks right.
Okay.
I've also got The Edge of Snowdonia, but The Edge of Snowdonia is more my one for where I talk about events and things. So
I want to know, are you the inspiration? Is your family the inspiration for the book, The Great Gatsby?
no,
And which one of you was great?
No, because it's spelled differently for a start. Gadsby is a surname I think is from a place in Leicestershire called Gadsby. That's where I think that's where they believe it may have originated.
Give me a name to say and I'll butcher it. Titanic.
Titanic. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's look briefly at the profile of the week, which Hilary might know. Just usually people know more about them than I do in general. So let's see. The profile of the week this week was Vice Admiral, William Bligh.
William Bligh is 17 degrees from me. It's just not very far, really, compared to some of the ones I've had.
My closest. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm related to Lizzie, who is one of the England Project leaders, and it's through her that I'm, because she's got a even closer connection to William Bligh than me, so it's through her that I'm connected to William Bligh. So
that's really cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, because we have because I was gonna mention, because since now we have multiple people in the connection finder. My closest one was 19 degrees to Fletcher Christian. That's who I was 19 degrees away from Fletcher Christian. Because all these people were part of either the Rum Rebellion, which William Bligh was part of the Rum Rebellion, or the mutiny on the Bounty. So if you guys want to see who you're most closely connected to in regards to that. Hold on, I got Carol had asked for me to show your link again. So William was also the 4th governor of New South Wales, which is the Rum Rebellion, where when he was appointed governor with orders to clean up the corrupt rum trade to the New South Wales courts, resulting in the so-called Rum Rebellion. He was born in England and died in England, but he was governor of New South Wales for a bit. And I don't know, does anybody have any other fun facts about William Bligh? Am I saying it's Bligh? It's Bligh, right? I'm pretty sure it's Bligh.
Do you want me to pronounce it for you?
Yes. Blig. Blig.
It's Bligh.
Oh. Anybody? So, since you were, how about you, Mags? Who were you most closely connected to out of everybody? Did you check?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It's Golden-7 if you want to check.
Okay, let's check. Golden. I have to throw off my cat.
Golden.
Let's see. Let's scroll down to the bottom of the page. Let's see. Well, looks like you're 19, the same as me, from Fletcher Christian, 19 degrees. That's your closest one. There you go. And then Hilary said she was what? You said 15 away from William?
17 away, 17 degrees from William. And I think the next one after that is something like 20 degrees from
Jeff. I know she got pronunciation correct. I know this. Not get the joke.
Thomas Laycock was the next one, and he was 20 degrees.
Okay.
Stephen T would like for you to post the blog Addie again.
He says in the chat, but the thing is, I can't. YouTube doesn't let me post links in YouTube comments. But
it'll be emblazoned on your screen forever if she posts it here, and you can go back and watch it.
Post it one more time. There you go.
Pause it, and you can copy it.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's look at the photos real quick, because I want to make sure we give Hilary enough time to talk about the cool stuff she has to talk about today.
Well, so many people had to talk about their transportation connections, you know.
Oh, I know. I loved listening to all the transportation.
I liked all the moonshiners and the prison escapees or the people on the run. That's a really good picture. That's a good photograph.
I like that one. They're Australians on a visit to England, the Rev cousins. Because the theme for this week's photos was cousins.
Reeves cousins.
Reeves. So I guess these are cousins too. I would assume so. And his grandchildren. Scott Marvin, his grandchildren.
Cute.
The Newmans.
Hello, Newman.
Ooh, that's a big. The Biggs family's big.
That's fun.
Sometimes they make it too easy. You know, just falls right in my lap. But look, they look like they were just playing in the mud. Look at them.
Yeah. And somebody's back there posing with his pipe. Somebody got a cap. I bet his leg is up on the hearth like a Captain Morgan commercial.
I want to know the story behind this photo. Chuck Biggs. Were they just in a mud fight?
Or playing football in the backyard?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh.
Popsicles at grandma's. How sweet.
They look so happy.
And intense.
Mm-hmm. Like these two are so happy, and then these two are just like, leave me alone. I'm enjoying my popsicle.
Like me with blueberry pie.
Yeah. Blueberry pie. Ruth and Janet.
In
their matching little outfits.
My roommate from university did that to her 3 children, and it's one of the funniest pictures ever. It looks like drapes.
That's funny. So this picture is interesting because it looks like they posed them, but then shot it at this weird, looked like it was supposed to be taken from the front. Then they came at it from the diagonally.
Maybe they didn't want to move all the kids and get them set up again because they realized there was something in the shot behind them if they were front on.
Maybe. Or maybe it was that case of multiple people were taking photos. I don't know. Did that happen back then where multiple people were taking photos?
You think paparazzi were showing up at their house?
I don't know. Maybe it was like the 2 parents, like the mom and the other mom, and the mom was in the front. And then they're like, guys, turn over here. Take a picture of this. I don't know. A scenario that could have happened. I have no idea.
It's so funny how we put this whole drama behind one picture.
Look, cousins, Smith and Harrigan. Cute photos.
That's cute though. It's a before, it's a younger and an older.
Yeah, younger and then older. But who are they?
Jennifer Harrigan.
Well, she's probably one of them then.
Yep.
Either this one or this one. You know, using my induction skills of induction. Induction? No,
deduction.
Right.
Deduction.
Deducing.
Deduction. Please forgive me. That's a cute photo.
That's a big family.
Mm-hmm. I have another page.
That's a cute picture.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this guy looks like he was left out.
Or he
The
was
other girl?
laughing at whatever the guy on the far right was saying.
Maybe that too. They're all laughing at him.
Those are nuns behind them.
Oh, good catch.
What are we? Is this an orphanage picture?
It doesn't say. This was in
Photo was
France.
shared from my family collection. My father and his cousins in a 1996. Sorry, I have it on my Infinity.
1956, Scorchbach, Marseille, Lorraine, France. So it was in France. So
Cool.
oh, maybe they were just in a kind of like a Catholic school kind of thing. The Shepherd cousins. How cute.
What was the theme for this week?
Cousins.
Cousins, I thought so.
What happened? What happened?
Mm-hmm.
How did that? Okay. More cousins. I feel like I think Chris posted a photo of cousins. So these are the female cousins. And then there's a photo of the male cousins next.
We do that at the Templeton reunion every summer. We get a picture of the male cousins and the female cousins.
Those are cute photos, though. I like those. And
They
they
are.
actually listed everybody in the photo.
Wow, that's good.
Mm. I've got
Best
cousin
friend.
photos. Yeah, you can't. I've got cousin photos, and you can't identify everybody.
Yeah. Best friend cousins ready for bed. They look so happy.
So Chris says that he did not share it.
Oh man. One job, Chris. Share a photo of your cousins.
Stephen T says to Hilary he has a DNA match to a Gadsby.
Oh.
Well, you're making connections in our live cast this morning, Hilary.
Oh.
That's I like that photo. Yes. This one's a cute one too. They're all like, geez.
Not exactly.
Oh, yeah, these two are like, what's going on behind? They were probably looking for this guy.
Unruly.
And then this guy's like, haha, can't catch me.
And the guy on the left there is so concentrating on how he's doing it.
This one?
Yeah. I'm perfect.
What a picture. I think there's one more photo on the next page. First cousins. Cute.
Do you want to play?
That just reminds me of, do you want to play a game? But
that's where I went.
Okay. And that's all for the photos. Was there anything?
Ow.
Why are you laughing?
I just heard myself and went, ow. Don't you laugh when you hurt yourself?
I guess it depends on what. I don't know. Okay, so now it is time for Hilary. Hilary, why don't you introduce yourself real quick? We kind of briefly, you're
I've
Hilary.
been a member of WikiTree since 2011.
Basically when it started.
So quite early on.
2008 when we started.
Well, that's pretty close.
Yeah, fairly early on. Probably one of the first people from the UK to join. And I uploaded a GEDCOM with probably something like 5,000 plus individuals in that GEDCOM. And some of them I haven't even looked at for all that time, because it's just impossible to deal with that number of and work as well. So I've recently retired. I joined Greeters back in, I think it was about 2004, 2005, and then I've had a break from them, but I'm now a greeter again. I've rejoined them. I've been a greeter for a little while now. I'm also a project coordinator in the England project for the help desk team, and project coordinator in Wales for the counties. I actually live in Wales, but I was born in Southampton in England, and but I've lived here a good part of my life, 20 odd years, almost 30 years. So I know quite a bit about where I live in the area, so that's why I'm in both the Wales. Although I've not no actual direct ancestor research in Wales. But my mum was a Roberts, and I'd have thought it would have been a Welsh, but it's so far it's from Wiltshire in England, and not actually moved into Wales, which is surprising. Anyway, it's a brief introduction as to who I am on the WikiTree and what I do.
And then what brings you here today?
I'm also a data doctor, and I have been using this particular app that one of the members of the England project has developed. When he joined WikiTree, he wasn't completely happy with the way that things imported into the GED compare, and so he wanted to be able to clean some of the profile up quite easily, rather than having to edit each individual one manually. So he created this so that he can use it for any profiles that are have been created from a GEDCOM by GEDCompare. And he also then moved on to do it so that we could clean up some of the earlier profiles. So I've actually been using it to try and clean up some of mine, and I've also used it on some of the ones that we need to clean up that are in the suggestions lists as well. So I can show you on one of my profiles what it does. It's probably the easiest thing. There is a WikiTree page all about the AGC app, and the ones that have been, he's now got the app on the apps page. So if you go to the WikiTree apps page, you will find the on there. Although I've been one of the beta testers, so I'm actually using one of the more recent versions of it. I think I'm on version 112 or something like that now. Whatever it is, I think the most recent version. There's a list of versions here, and 1.13 was the most recent one. I'm actually on the one before that. I haven't actually got around to updating from that to that one yet. But and this page is quite useful because it tells you about all the things. So if you want to get involved with the beta testing, if you do a lot of cleaning up GEDCOM profiles, then by all means, let Rob, who is developed this, let him know if you find anything that it's not doing like it should be doing.
Rob's last name is
Pavey.
Thank you, Rob Pavey.
Yeah. So let me just show you what it does. I shall go to my...
While she's getting there, I'm just going to say, isn't it fascinating how many great extra applications people have created to make WikiTree even better? You have an idea, you want to have something done, find somebody and get them to do it.
That's the beauty of WikiTree.
It is. It's collaborative, man.
I've actually been using my watch list and sorting my watch list of profiles by edit date, so that I'm getting the ones that haven't been edited since July 2011, and then privacy, so I'm getting the open profiles, and I'm doing those ones first because they're the ones that anybody can edit. So I'm going to start with the one right at the top, which is Tom Humphreys. And this works best if you've not made any changes, if no changes have been made to the profile. So particularly with the open one, somebody else may have made a change. So I usually try and check the changes. Now, there has been a change made because I did one earlier on today, but all I did was edit the birth date for this person. So it shouldn't have any major effects on it. I did try this out earlier in the week, so I know more or less what it's going to do. So then I go to the edit page. And on the edit page, you usually get all these anyway coming above the biography. But if you've got the app loaded, like I'm using Chrome browser, I think it's only able to use it on the Chrome browser at the moment.
It
So
seems like
Chrome
most
extension.
yeah, it seems like most WikiTree stuff only really works on Chrome.
Yeah. So it comes up with this little button at the end which says AGC in green, red, and blue. So, and I will, and I'll, if I go back to the profile thing, you can see what the profile's like at the moment. It's one of the old ones, and so it's got a biography, it's got like name, birth, death, everything all individually numbered like that. And although it's got sources and that on it, they're a bit jumbled up. They're not easy to read. So I will now go to this button and press the button, and you can see what the difference is on the profile. So if I go to that and it puts a cross through it, you can actually reverse it if you want. If you press it again, it will revert it back to what it was if you haven't saved it. So if I go to the preview, we can see that we've now got a nice,
Even
much
the contents
better.
look better, yeah.
So much better. You can still tweak what you want if you don't like. I'm not that keen on having all the children like this. I prefer to have them all individually. So I probably would put what I'd probably do with those is when I get so here it is. I would probably do this. I'd probably go like that, put myself a space, and then put all the individual children in individually, and put this in so that they all come down, and remove all the commas and things, and make a numbered list so you can see exactly that you've got all 9 children properly and whatever. But it's each individual person do what they like, really. It's up to them. And also I've got a lot of these sources I've got in there are ancestry ones. All right, it automatically puts in the link to the ancestry record, but not everybody can see that. So wherever possible, once after I've done this, I am trying to replace things with the free things. So if I save this, and one thing you do as well, there's issues here. He's put a research notes, issues to be checked. So when they've combined things, it's put that in there, and then you can, when you've sorted out all that and you're happy that that's not a problem, and that you've tweaked anything that you want to do, like I think, has it come out? Yeah. Sometimes it comes out, if you've got an exact address, sometimes it comes out with the actual place name like that, and then with an address after it. I'm not sure if it's done it with this one. I don't think it's done it with this one, but sometimes it'll come out. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So it's got Chapel Street at the end there. Well, really, I'd want the Chapel Street to be in front of this. So I can put that in there.
So it's a lot more in-depth than just cleaning up the GEDCOM junk. It's also kind of trying to organize all the information on the...
Yeah, it's really helpful in terms of it's actually giving you a chance to sort of be able to reorganize everything. And what I'm also going to be doing with my profiles is replacing a lot of these references with free to access ones where I can. So it's better in terms of that. And I'm using another app to actually help me with putting in the new references. So I'll save what I've done on there. I can do the rest of the editing later. But and also you can delete things like this big census thing. I probably don't want that unless I'm going to convert it into a file so that I can create a table. I probably wouldn't want all of that information on there. So I'll probably end up deleting that when I've got a different link. And it will actually say that it's been reformatted by the extension, and then you can add anything else you like. So if you've added something in there, then you can put that on as well. Like if I've added sources, I'll often put on that I've added sources and things. What I might do for this one actually is show you how I can change the birth registration. Is nice, but there is a better way of having birth registrations now, because the General Register Office itself has a their own website now, which has got things there, which has got birth and death indexes on, and it's also got more information. So if I go there, we know he was born in 1868, and he was, so I've already got his surname in there, Humphreys, and I've got his name. I know from the profile, go back, he was born in Warminster. So I've got that. So I've already put the registration district in. So if I go and press search, it should come up with that. And the good thing about this now is I've got mother's maiden surname on there, which is useful. So the one I want is Tom Humphreys, but they've also got another Adlam. So this must have been his brother, most likely, unless there were more than one Humphreys Adlam marriage in that district, and they were both having children. But that's where you need to start doing other research anyway. But from what I've done, I know that this is the right one. So I can go to this person, and I'm using something called Aura, which is an online repository assistant, which I have set up, and it now will produce a nice little citation there for me, which all I need to do is press that and go to the profile. So instead of having that free BMD record, I can adjust it and put the other reference in there instead, which anyone can go back and access. And I've got the mother's maiden name, which is useful because I've not actually got his parents on there at the moment. So that would help me with my research to find out who his parents are.
That's really cool.
So some websites like Family Search will provide you with citations already. Aura is the settings page that you need to set up for the online repository assistant. It's not a free app. If I go to this, it will show you. It's called Online Repository Assistant. So it's just an automated assistant, but it was originally created by the developer to help with adding information in from websites into the Master Genealogist, but it also works with other programs as well. It's $24 a year, but I've been using it and I find it really so helpful. It's well worth that $2 a month for a subscription to it. And there's lots of information on here. There's an introductory slideshow which you can go through, and it shows you exactly. And there's lots of information on the help pages here, and the videos that show you a bit about the actual.
This is a video demonstration.
So you got, I won't go through it, but it shows there's a lot of support for it. I set up some in Notepad. I've set up that one that I used just now was set up for the General Register Office and I've also set one up for the deaths as well, a template thing, which you can do yourself, and it does take a little bit of technical knowledge to be able to set it up, but I found it really helpful in terms of previously I was having to put text in and then take things, copy and paste things from the website. Now I can just press a button and it's automatically puts it on there for me. So it is really quite useful. Just to show how quick and easy it is, I'll just quickly do something with this is another one that's not been dealt with. So it's just a case of clicking the button
and saving.
Mm-hmm. If there's been too many changes made to it, it doesn't always do it properly for you, but you can preview it and see if it's turned out how you want.
So that's why you check the changes, because if a lot of edits have been made to the original JEDCOM bio, it won't work.
It will do some of it for you, but it might not work the same. But what it's really good is removing some of the JEDCOM junk things.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can go to the. Let's see. I know I've got it on here somewhere. Well, let's just go to the apps page. It'll be easier. So if you go to the suggestions on here, which is something like 853, I think. Yeah, JEDCOM junk. So if I just go to
No, nothing in Slovenia.
No. Let's see if we can. Let's see. Let's see if I just do England. I just do England. I just do England. It'll be if there is any. Whoops. There we go. Knew I'd find somewhere. So if I just go to. Make sure I've got one that I can get into, okay, not too early. There's one of the ones. So this has got quite a lot of JEDCOM junk on it and things that we probably wouldn't want on there, but it's got things that we do want. So just check it's not, and nobody's edited it since it was imported. So if I press the button again, now this one it's not worked on for whatever reason. As I say, some of them it works on and some it doesn't. I know on some of the later ones it's working. Let's see if I can find a better one. Let's see if I can find. I know what. Let's narrow it down a bit.
Doesn't like that.
No, it doesn't, does it? It's thinking about it. And here we go. Here we go. Got some 19th century ones. Hopefully it'll work on one of these. Usually, it has worked on them because I know I've used it on them. Let's see if it'll work on this one. Because this was what we were saying. It'd be nice if we could clear up some of these ones and that. Let's see.
Interesting.
It's Yeah, that's taken lots of things off there. But when you think of it, most of that
Maybe because there was nothing else there. Yeah, that one
is
didn't have
pretty
any
much
sources
anything there. Yeah.
yeah.
It but at least because you can preview things, if you don't like it, you can just say, oh well, I'm not saving it, and you can go ahead and but it certainly saves a lot of being of just going in and having to remove everything manually from a lot of these things.
Yeah, and then a lot of the times GEDCOMs will duplicate the sources, and that
it
singles them out. Did anybody have any questions about? I know I didn't see any questions. It seems pretty straightforward. You just get the app on Google Chrome, and then you make sure it only works on ones that haven't really been messed with too much for the GEDCOM uploads. And then you saying it didn't work on older ones like pre-17 or pre.
That was that. I've used it, but I must admit I've not used it on many of the early ones. So it is. If I go back to, sorry, just gone 1-2 page too many. It is on the apps page now anyway. So if you just go to help and look for the apps page, it is on there, and that's the one that Rob has submitted to the Chrome store, and that, so that one will have been beta tested. It should be working up to a point. Obviously, as we find in things in that he's upgrading them, and so it will change. It will change. I don't know which version he's got on there now.
I was following the comments and the questions while we were talking, and people were really amazed at what this does. One of the questions was from Stephen T. Could he take a download that he currently has, upload it to WikiTree, and then have this program go through and delete all of the people who are not related? And my answer to him was it would be better if he created a GEDCOM from that GEDCOM using a free program like the Gramps project, which is a great open source project, or Family Tree Maker or something like that, and exclude those people before you upload it, because on WikiTree, we don't delete profiles. We only create profiles for people. So if you don't want to create a bunch of extra profiles that aren't really related to you, don't upload them in your GEDCOM. But
then on a side note, you should upload them anyway, because you never know who.
That's true. But yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. It's just very hard to do a GEDCOM upload with a lot of people in it, because we use the GED compare process to do those uploads now. So it is a time consuming but very good process to upload.
Because I often say to people now, if they really want to upload a GEDCOM, they should really just be uploading a small GEDCOM and seeing how it goes before they start uploading anything too much.
Yeah, even I feel like even 100 people's like a lot, for especially going through GED compare.
I looked at WikiTree back when I joined in 2013. I looked at WikiTree as a genealogy do-over, and I added every one of my personal family information. I added all of those profiles by hand, and hopefully worked some of the sources in as I went. There may be a couple that I still have sources to do, but very few. A friend asked me to upload a GEDCOM for her family, so that's up. And it was an interesting process. I really love the GED compare process now. It keeps from having so many duplicates created.
Really. And that's why that's why we don't just let people upload their GEDCOMs, because we don't want duplicates. So that's why we have that GED compare. It's tedious, but it's overall it's good for the tree.
I didn't say it was tedious. I said it was time consuming. Did I say it was tedious?
Sorry. I said it was tedious because
it's time consuming. It's not tedious. It's meticulous. That's what I would say. You have to be very meticulous about what you're doing, and it's very good. And there was also a bunch of discussions about whether or not you could run Chrome on a Mac. Yes, you can.
Mhm.
But somebody pointed out that you cannot run, Jeff did, that you cannot run a .NET executable file, which is a file that actually starts a program. You can't run a .NET extension in Chrome. So
yeah, the Aura extension that I'm using, you can't run that on a Mac. You have to run that on Windows 10. Really, is where it's been supported. What it's been supported for.
So
Carol,
Carol, we hope we have explained the language barrier for you a bit. Carol said she couldn't understand what they were talking about. Can you say what Aura is, please, Hilary?
Aura is the online repository assistant.
And it does what?
It helps you to take information from a variety of websites. These are the websites that they've got at the moment: Ancestry, Australian Cemeteries Index, Billion Graves, Family Search, Find a Grave, Find My Past, Fold 3, Free Reg, a generic service. Sometimes it'll work with other websites. The GRO, which I've showed you, newspapers.com, Nova Scotia Genealogy, and Trove. And there's a lot more that it can do that I haven't actually shown. In fact, this website, this is somebody called Terry Regal. He has got lots of Aura tips on his website for people, and it's a great place to go if you're thinking because you run in Windows 10 on your computer or your laptop, that you can use this and you think you'd find it useful. I haven't even mentioned the fact that you got these click boxes. So if you're doing searches for somebody in records, you can click the ones that you've already been to, and that you can click ones where you're not happy, that you don't think it's the right one, so that if next time you do a search, it'll come up and it'll show you the ones that you've already looked at, or the ones that you decided weren't what you were looking for, so that if there's anything new up there, you'll be able to see the new. It's there's so much possibilities. It probably worth going to his site, which is tmg.reigel, which is REIGEL Ridge RIDGE.com/Aura HTML.
Or maybe you can just Google Terry's Aura
tips.
Yeah.
I wanted to change the subject just for a second. Hilary, are you a Roots Tech ambassador?
Yes, I am.
So Roots Tech ambassadors are people who are people who promote Roots Tech, who do things behind the scenes, and usually they don't get paid for what they do, but they get special access to some of the people who are the keynote speakers and other people. They get to do interviews. They usually do blogs about it. They do promotions about Roots Tech as it's approaching. And then after Roots Tech, they usually do an after Roots Tech blog about their impressions of how it went. I think I've got that about right. Correct, Hilary?
Yeah.
Okay. So the ambassadors have always offered a free thing for Roots Tech. And it also helps them because it helps them get their name out. Well, Roots Tech this year, which WikiTree always has a humongous presence at. There is a wall of orange at Roots Tech every year. This year, Roots Tech is going to be something that WikiTree loves. Roots Tech is going to be free for everybody. So if you're interested in having a Roots Tech virtual experience, the talks are not going to be an hour-long talk. They're trying to make it quick and easy. So there's 20-minute presentations all day long. I don't know the exact schedule yet, but it's going to be a fun time. And we don't know how WikiTree is going to have a presence during the virtual conference, but I think that we should have at least some chats going on in the background for some of the presentations, especially if there are WikiTreeers like Judy Munson or WikiTreeers like Roberta Estes or other people talking at these at this free conference, that we should support them. And I have my Roots Tech jacket on today in support of Madame Gadsby and all of the Rootstack ambassadors who do such great work. And for WikiTree, because WikiTree is so great. It's such a fun thing. So there.
Yeah.
Public service announcement for Rootstack.
Yeah,
Yay.
and make sure you register, because you get
Yeah.
all the updates if you've registered.
Yeah,
And it's
register.
not costing you anything.
I have a question.
Yeah, this-
I have a fun question. You know, when you're at conferences, Family Search has this app where you can find cousins at the conference. So if somebody's at the conference near you, it will tell you that the person is there. And so you make cousin connections through this. How are they going to do that during this conference, Hilary?
Goodness knows.
Goodness knows.
You can make cousin connections through the app if you notice that somebody has changed something on a shared ancestor or cousin or something that you've been working on, and you make a connection with them. You might find that you make a connection because there is a relationship finder on the app.
Yes, it is.
Because I have made a contact with somebody through that way.
I met Beth Garrison Wiley last year and 2 or 3 other people that I didn't know were cousins. So that was fun.
Yeah, I had more cousin connections when I went to Rootstack in the States than I did Rootstack in London.
I was at FGS having dinner in the restaurant, the restaurant / bar at FGS last year. And the people next to me say, Mags Galden, I don't know who that is, but she's supposed to be a cousin. And I looked over and I said, well, that would be me. That was really fun too. So yeah, so cool. So yay, Rootstack being free and WikiTree loves free. So
yes. Yeah. So was there anything else briefly that you want to cover, Hilary? Because we've kind of gone over the...
No, I don't think so, because I think I need to be going greeting.
Yeah.
And somebody was pulling your hair just a minute ago.
That was my husband. That was my husband. Oh. He's brought me another cup of tea, so...
It's just WikiTree. Mess with our presenters. We love it.
So I guess we are finished for the day. Thank you, Hilary, for coming on and showing us that cool app for GEDCOM Junk. Again, if anybody ever has any ideas of what we can talk about, please let me know. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Until next time.
Sourceathon's coming up soon, too.
I know, yes. It's coming.
That's why I thought Aura's going to help me for Sourceathon, because
don't forget to register for the Sourceathon.
Hey, Hilary, you have a request from Carol Baldwin. She'd like for you to do a blog on Aura.
I'll see what I can do. Yeah, when I find time. I've got less time since I retired than I had before.
Goodbye, everybody.